Hey everybody, it's Magee here. This one, The Flash Season 2, Episode 22 review rundown. A whole lot of stuff to happen. I'm not going to do too much of a video this time. I'm going to try to make it a little bit shorter. There's a lot going on, so I'm going to try to get this as fast as possible. But this episode was great. I think that they're leaning towards John Wesley Shipp, Jay Garrick, and it's pretty much predictable. And I don't want it to be, but it's like, what are you supposed to do when you have all of these characters and all of these plot twists going on? So we're just going to break this episode down. So right away, I didn't like this episode as much as I did the other episodes, because this one just kind of seemed a little cheesy to me. Like, it was a little blocked down. Like, it was kind of like, oh, we have this huge, amazing episode with Kevin Smith directing and Zack Stentz writing, who's going to be writing the Booster Gold movie. I believe that's what's going to be happening. Or maybe, yeah, I think it was Zack Stentz, and all this craziness going on, and then it just kind of goes to this episode, which is kind of a little cheesier and a little bit, or something like, how could this happen? Like, that would never happen in real life. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I like the logic of this episode. So let's talk about it. So, some of the moments I had that were just really bad were the cheesy ones, like the ones with Killer Frost and Reverb. So if you guys don't know, they are gone, obviously. I mean, we're going to talk about this, though. We're just going to jump across points of all the episode, like throughout the episode. But this one was just one that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. Is that when Caitlin and Cisco dress up as Reverb and Killer Frost to fake out Black Siren, which we'll talk about in a second. And I was like, how did you get their costumes so fast? Like, you didn't rip off their costumes from Earth 2 and take them over to Earth 1, did you? Did Caitlin have like an overnight bag that you just stuffed Killer Frost's outfit in after she was dead? Like, did you just rip it off of her dead body? And then what about Reverb? Reverb was just like tossed around in that one episode. So did Cisco take all of his clothes and put it in some kind of bag, like a backpack, and just like run back to Earth 1? Like, that wouldn't happen. And then how would you make them? Because they're leather. You can't really like they're intricate leather suits. Like, how would you make them in that much time? Unless they have some kind of like technology like on Legends of Tomorrow, but they don't, so it's like, that doesn't make sense. And then they go to fake out Black Siren, and it like takes them 3 million years, and then they get, I do like the part, I did laugh at this part though, when Black Siren throws him the debris or whatever that's in there, and he catches it with the wrong hand. Did like that was great. But I just thought it was weird how they just start running, and then Cisco shoots with the vibe, like his powers, and shoots Black Siren, and it's just like, what the what? Like, I was like, what is this? Like a weird, cheesy movie? Like, no, this is The Flash. That's an excuse. And then it's like, do it again! And he's like, can't do it. And it's like, no, I don't like that. But yeah, so that was just one of the moments I didn't like. And then another moment I didn't like that didn't make any sense is that when the Flash comes in the CCPD and talks to Singh, the captain, and he's just like, okay, you know, we're a team, we're all together, we're doing this, stopping the metahumans. And then he's like, where's Barry? You know, where is he? And then he just zooms around and into his regular Barry clothes, and it's just like, oh, I'm here. And it's like, what? That doesn't make sense either, because it's like, wouldn't you think that Captain Singh, being a police captain, and has probably been on the police force for such a long time, would know by now when that's... I mean, maybe it's a different thing because it's a metahuman thing, and metahumans have been there for like, what, 2, almost 3 years now in that logic of the show? But it's like, wouldn't you think that he would probably figure that out? Because Tina Magee figured it out, and she's a scientist, which is way, I guess, more smarter than a police captain. But if he's been there for years and he's been trained as a detective, or, you know, and then throughout to be the captain, you'd think he'd know that Barry was the Flash. Or at least maybe suspect it. You know, he was like, okay, I'll play along. I was like, what? No. So those are just one of the things I didn't like about this episode. But everything else, pretty good across the board. So let's talk about Black Siren. So she was introduced in this episode. It's Earth 2 Laurel. I thought they were going to call her Dinah Laurel Lance, or Dinah Lance. They didn't end up doing that. They just called her Laurel, so I guess they're going to stick to that. Stick to those guns. Now, Laurel on Earth 1, her mom is actually named Dinah. And if you guys don't know, in the comics, I believe this is true, that Dinah... was the original Black Canary, who was from Earth 2, that moved over to Earth 1, had a daughter who became Black Canary, which is our Laurel, right? And then had another daughter with Oliver named Olivia, or Olive, or something like that, became the next Black Canary. So there's many Black Canaries in the comics. It makes sense that there's many Black Canaries in the DC TV verse. So I thought that was interesting, but I do love how they explained her as the metahuman and as one of the top lieutenants, and actually one of the best. Like, you're good, but not that good. And I do love that, and I really love her performance. Now, don't you wish that was our Black Canary? It's kind of like, that's like a jab in the gut. Like, they didn't use that metahuman version of Laurel on Arrow, and then we lost Laurel. We're not getting her back. So it's kind of like, that was a lost opportunity, but I still think that now that they haven't killed off Laurel, it was a dumb idea to kill off Killer Frost. I didn't really care too much about Reverb exactly, but Killer Frost, I'm a huge Killer Frost, like, like, shipper. Like, I guess I shipped the character on the show? I don't know, that doesn't make sense. But I do love Killer Frost. I do like the character in the comics. I liked her in Assault on Arkham, the animated movie, although there was a different Killer Frost. It wasn't Caitlin Snow. But I do love Caitlin, so that was a missed opportunity that they killed her off. So I do love that they kept Black Siren here, at least, to maybe possibly bring her back someday. I'm excited for that as well. But I did love Black Siren quite a bit in this episode. Also, Tina Magee was in this episode. Really nice having her in here. Do love when her and Henry hit it off. Now, this really isn't an Easter egg for the comics, because we're going to talk about those in a second. Really not an Easter egg in the comics, but it is for the old 90s Flash TV series. And if you guys don't know, John Wesley Shipp, who plays Barry's dad, actually played Barry Allen himself in the 90s series. And Tina Magee was actually his love interest on that show. So I think that they're just winking at us from that. I mean, they've already showed us John Wesley Shipp in the original Flash costume from the 90s in a travel sequence, you know, with those images that show up when Barry's traveling either through time or the multiverse or whatever. So we've already seen that. So I think that this is just another wink of that show brought there, which is also exciting. And then some comic book Easter eggs, if you guys don't know. Joe said, I can't wait, my grandkids are going to call me Papa, or Pop, or whatever he said. And I thought that was really interesting as well. And because if you guys don't know, in the comics, the Tornado Twins are actually Barry and Iris's children, I believe. I'm not really sure. I'm not really big on Flash mythology, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Barry and Iris's children are the Tornado Twins. Yeah. So that's just another comic book Easter egg. And then here's a big comic book Easter egg. More Green Lantern stuff. If you guys don't know, when Iris was saying it's a Blackest Night here in Central City, that is actually referring to the comic book Blackest Night, which is basically a Green Lantern storyline where all of them, to break it down for you guys, they're basically Black Lantern zombie-looking things in the Blackest Night. I'm not going to talk about that Blackest Night because I'm not really too big on Green Lantern mythology either, but I do know that story quite a bit, a little bit of ways, and I do like that Easter egg because that was just nice because they always do Green Lantern Easter eggs. They're so much fun. But yeah, overall it was a nice episode. Wally West also got some stuff in here to be a hero. They're basically setting him up. They kind of did the same thing with Roy in season 2 of Arrow. They're doing the same thing in season 2 of The Flash with Wally, so that's pretty much there. Jesse Quick got a little bit of stuff in this episode. You're not special because you have powers. You're special because you're special, basically. You're special because you have genius IQ that can help us stop this new wave of metahumans. So I do love that quite a bit. Caitlin was great in this episode with the stuff, with her stress and hallucinations of Zoom. Love that. We're probably going to develop that a little bit more. So overall, it was great. Now let's talk about Henry, because Henry was killed by Zoom. So what I think is happening here is that we know John Wesley Shipp is the guy in the Iron Mask. So I definitely think that means that they're just going to kill off Earth 1 Henry and then do a big plot twist for Season 3 where he's revealed to be Jay Garrick, the actual Jay Garrick, because his mother's maiden name was Garrick. So I think that he's going to be Jay Garrick from Earth 2. So he's probably going to be named Henry J. Garrick or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is going on with that. But what do you guys think about this episode? Comment down below. Links up there to my other Flash videos. Links are there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and Singe channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.